Yeah, it's the Willie Mo Jr. Show. 4 hours of pure inspiration. Of course, when your nephew says pure, it simply means that we will be keeping it 100. Listen, I told you that I would be hanging out with what I've coined my young gunners, shooting these positive bullets across this great nation. Of course, you know your nephew getting a little older, and so I do my best to bring that young energy in for children who are in foster care, children who are adopted, for parents who are thinking about adoption, for those parents who have adopted, for those who are in foster care. You know, right now there's 125,000 children who are available for adoption in the USA. You know, over 23,000 of those kids are going to age out of foster care before the end of this year. And so I've been challenging people to adopt and foster, get signed up, and make sure that you take the classes and do what you have to do, because every child that has nothing deserves something, and that something is a home, right? I got my sister in the house. She goes by the name of Sapphire Broadnax, right, Sapphire?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Man, it is an honor to hang out with you. For my audience, my listening audience, if you don't mind, can you share a little bit about yourself, where you from, how old you are, and just a little bit about your experience?
Okay, well, my name is Sapphire Broadnax. I am from Atlanta, Georgia. I am the vice president of the American Group Youth Advisory Council, and I am a part of the Defects Youth Advisory Group as well. I do advocate for pregnant and parenting foster youth in care, and I am a former foster care youth as well. So
Good stuff. So, did you have a child as well, or
I do. I do. I
okay,
have a 5-year-old son. I ended up having
okay,
him when I was inside care, actually. That's the love of my life. His name is Jameer.
yeah,
Um, yeah.
yeah. Shout out to Jameer, 5 years old, thinking full of energy, think he the
Full,
boss.
full of energy.
Yeah. So I have 3 boys. So my oldest is 18. Then I have a 12-year-old son and a 6-year-old son. And of course, I now have a little baby girl. She's 2. But I tell you what, that house is full of so much energy. So shout out to Jameer. I know he running you around.
Yes, he is. But I wouldn't have it no other way. Like I'm really grateful for my son. I really am.
No, definitely. Children are a gift from God. I always tell people that children come from God. They just come through parents. So it's
Right.
almost like, all right, God, like I appreciate it. Although sometimes we may not feel like we're ready for the child or how you gonna do it. Like he just always makes a way. But I want you to talk a little bit about that. So you're in care. How did you get in care? Did you grow up with your biological family and then you were put in care, or from inception were you in foster care?
So with me, I was always in and out of care. My mom was always on drugs. So
Okay.
it was like we would get back with her, being my 4 older sisters, because I'm the youngest out of 5. And
Okay.
so it's like we'll get back with her, she'll be doing so great, and then like a relapse will happen. And then we'll end up back in care. So it was like the first time I ever got into care, I was like in the 3rd grade. And that was only for about a week. Then I ended up moving with my grandma until my mother got herself together. And I'll say probably like 2014, when I was 16 to be exact, I ended up right back in care because I was just having like a lot of problems at home. Well, I was really being bounced from like home to home and stuff, and I couldn't live that unstable life and
Mhm.
try to like be the best me at the same time. And I was just going through so much at that time too, because not only was like my mom doing drugs, but I was staying with friends and stuff like that. And so you know how that goes when you stay with some of your friends at a young age. You don't know them really well until you live with them. So it started being like conflicts here and there, and like my life being put in danger and stuff. So me personally, I originally went into like my social worker office at school, and I was just explaining to her everything that had been going on with me. And she was like, I can put you in care. Like I can call them. And, I just made that decision for myself because it was just really a dark time for me. And I just was really depressed and felt like nobody cared about me or loved me or anything. And I just feel like that was the best thing for me to do at that moment. And so later on that day, they came and they got me. So I
So
was in care ever since until
so
I
how
age.
old how old were you then?
I was 16 still.
So you 16 and
So
you
I'm
muster up the energy to go in there and tell what's going on to
yeah,
get help on your own.
right.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was so used, like, I was so used, even with me staying with my grandparents, I'm used to a loving home,
Yeah.
a nurturing home, not a home that's gonna like beat you down and degrade you and stuff and make you do things you don't want to do.
Mhm.
So I was just like really over it. And I was just like at the verge of just really either going into foster care or killing myself. Like
Mm.
that's how deep it was for me. Because like I said, I was the youngest out of 5 girls. I spent the less time with my mother. So I didn't really have a mother growing up. Like all I had was just like my sisters and my grandparents and of course like cousins and but they
Right.
wasn't my mother. So I was just really like a kind of troubled child, just really trying to
Yeah.
find my way.
Right. So what happened to your sisters?
So my sisters, the two oldest ones, they end up staying with my grandfather.
Okay.
And the middle child, she stayed with her dad, and the only one who stayed in care of me was which was the one before me, which her name is Victoria. So
Mhm.
she ended up staying in care with me. So we both ended up just staying in care and just aging out.
Okay. Okay. So when you look back and you think about care, being a part of this particular system, what are some of the greatest moments, and then what are some of the moments that need improvement?
The greatest moments is just meeting different people,
Okay.
experiencing different things. I know for me, and I tell everybody this, like when I first got into foster care at 16, I went to a group home called Jesse House, which is located in Forsyth County. And it was a very different atmosphere from being in the city of Atlanta
Mhm.
and being by predominantly African American people, then going to Forsyth and just being by predominantly just Caucasian people. And so
Yeah.
it was good. It was really fun because I experienced a lot of different things, things I would have never experienced just staying in the city and stuff. Like we did a lot of different things. Like we went on different outings such as we went to like this horse farm and we like kind of volunteered and stuff. We was helping out with them, and we've always had like these amazing outings and stuff. Like I remember we had like a back to school outing where we drove to Savannah like the day for like we literally drove there and came back the same day, but we all did stuff throughout the day. So it was really good, and I met a lot of wonderful people. And
Right.
so that's one of the pluses out of it. And another one that probably need improvement would be just the placements.
Got it.
Being put with kids that are like basically they have behavior issues. And so
Got it.
like for me, I was like I said, when I went to the group home, it was predominantly white, and I didn't know, like to my knowledge, I thought everybody in there was just defects, but they were from DJJ as well. So a punishment for them would be up there in Forsyth was that their judge would send them to a group home as punishment. And so, we have like this mix and mingle going on. And so it's like you'll have more fights and stuff like that because you have people who think like they run it and, they don't care who you are and, just trying to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
bully you and
Because
stuff. And
because they've been sentenced. They've literally been sentenced, and
right,
you guys have been sent.
right. So
Okay.
the placements, like I know for me, because when I first originally got in care, I wasn't pregnant. I didn't have a child. I got pregnant while in care. And so, it was way harder for me because my child wasn't in foster care. So when your child is not in foster care and you are in foster care, you are responsible for your child, meaning you have to pay for everything. You
Got it.
have to worry about everything. And so my big one was just while I was pregnant was finding a placement that would accept me and my child because they don't have
Mm.
most placements that do accept mom and child or dad and child and stuff. And so I just feel like that should be a major one that needs to be fixed. Like it should be more placements out here because if not, then you have parents that are forced to put their child into foster care because they don't have a place for their child to go. And
Got
so
it. That's good. So I'm taking a note of that. Like that's really, really good. So did you find a place that would accept you and your child, or where that was Jameer put in foster care and then you later reunited?
by the grace of God, my son stayed in my custody. I figured it out. I basically it took a minute because I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't easy. Like I had to really juggle between either working or school. Like I literally had to be like, okay, because with certain placements, you have requirements. You have to work a certain amount of hours or you have to go to school a certain amount of hours. But as a parent anyway, especially a parent with no support, you're gonna want to work. You're gonna want to take care of your child. It's like everything else is put on the back burner. So it's like,
Mhm.
okay, I need money for this, that, and the third. So I'm gonna get a job and work before I finish school. And that kind of was like a struggle of mine too, because I ended up graduating late because of that. Because I was like, I'm just gonna work because I can't go to school and work because with childcare, you know, daycare is closed at 6 o'clock. I don't get up until 7:30 to go to work.
Chuck, did I lose her, Chuck?
It was just
Check.
a lot.
What's up, champion? I'm sorry.
Oh no, it had went off just a minute. So beep beep. It was just a lot. That's where it ended for me. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It was just a lot. Indeed, hanging out with the one and only Saphire Broadnax. So now, so you aged out of foster care. So what support did you have aging out of foster care? Like, were they able to support you after foster care, or were you just like, okay, you done aged out, go on about your business?
So actually, I was very fortunate to be a part of this organization with Matt called Team Parent Connection. And they basically, you get like a life coach, or like I like to call her, like, because my life coach, she was like an older lady. I didn't look at her as a life coach. I looked at her as like a grandma.
Okay.
She was so nice, and she really helped me out with a lot of things. Because like I said, I was juggling a lot, like school and work. And so she always came to me with different resources, different job opportunities. Also, like, even when I couldn't afford new clothes when I had my son, she recommended me to this place called the Bloom's Closet, where you basically get free clothes and stuff. And
Yeah, I know what that is.
I was really grateful for that, because, you know, without her or that organization, period, I don't know like where I would have been, because they helped me a lot. Like, not only with that, just even with my education, when I needed a laptop, they helped get me a laptop. They helped me with a lot of stuff. Like, even this past Christmas, I actually was chosen to get a car. Like, somebody donated a car, and they chose me to get it. Yeah. So
Sapphire, you mean tell me they gave you a car?
they gave me a car.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. But I mean, without them, I wouldn't know what I would be, because, like I said, they were so amazing. Like, they had so many different things, they even had baby showers for people. Like,
So, and this is Team Parent Connection.
Team Parent Connection, yes.
Okay.
And so they, like, they're really great. Like, when I say really great, like, they work with you and your case plan. They find out what works with you best, and they don't judge you. So for me, that was just a plus, because I was so used to people just judging me, like, oh, she's young, she has a child, you know, she don't know this and that. You know, my life coach, she's like, you know, Sapphire, you're learning. Just keep going. You're learning, like, you're learning. Like, don't look at it as if, oh, I'm not doing enough. You know, because I used to do that to myself. I used to be like, I don't feel like I'm doing enough. Yeah. And she's like, Sapphire, you're young. Like, take it one step at a time. Everything will fall into place, you know? So
yeah, man, hanging out with Sapphire. Listen, such a ball of energy. I do got to say this though, Sapphire. Your hands are gifted. Like, I don't know if you do like hair. I don't know if you in the beauty world. I don't know what it is, but I just feel in my spirit that you got to know that your hands are gifted, and I want you to protect your hands. I want you to pray over your hands. You have an amazing gift of entrepreneurship. God's gonna birth business through you. When I see you, you're gonna have your own business. It's gonna be a franchise business. It's going to grow. I want you to perfect these times. I want you to have your story written down. I want you to be able to say it, because what I see is that you're going to have interviews, and people are going to want to know how a teen mother who came out of foster care was able to have such an amazing business moniker. And so your hands are blessed. So I don't know if it's beauty, I don't know what it is, but I do know that that's what God wants you to do. If I'm wrong and not accurate, just pray that I become the man that I'm supposed to be. But as sure as my name is Willie Moore Jr., that's what I heard the Lord say. So yeah. So are you doing anything like that with your hand? What work are you doing?
So I do okay. I mean, I do hair.
Okay.
I do hair, but I also do like body sculpting and stuff, like waxes and stuff like that.
Hands
on.
Yeah.
As far as hands go, but yeah,
that's good. Okay, I just want to make sure, like, long as you're using your hands, and you able to talk, you're gonna always get to the bag, boo. That's all I'm saying. Like if somebody try to make you sit down, not use your hands, that is not the opportunity for you. Like, wait a minute, what y'all got me doing? No. I gotta use these because these are blessed. This you gotta start doing to people when you meet them. And when they try to shake your hand, be like, did you wash your hands? Because these hands is blessed. These is my money makers. Because I can scope, do hair, like whatever it is, so your hands are blessed. I just want to end. I want to end this way. What advice do you have to maybe a young girl right now who may just be a teen mother? She may be in foster care as a teen mother, and she's looking at her situation totally wrong. Here you are, not totally out of what it takes to be a mother, but definitely out of the mud that you were in initially. What support or what encouragement would you give to those young ladies?
I would tell them keep going. Don't listen to what nobody tell you. You know what's best for you, and you know what's best for your child. And just because things are not going as planned right now does not mean that that is your future. And so you are in charge of your life. You have to make sure that self is okay. So really the first thing I really want them to know is love yourself. Love yourself, because once you love yourself and you understand, okay, hey, I love myself enough not to go back to my old ways, or I love myself enough not to give up and not to settle for no, because with me, like I said, I didn't know, like years ago, if you told me I would be here, I'd be like, you're lying. You're lying. Like my life is over. Like, no, like with me, I really literally had to stay focused in this, because it's always time to play. It's always time to, do other things. So prioritize. Make sure your priorities are intact, and just know that you are loved, and that nothing comes easy in life. You have to work for it, and just keep your head up.
Yeah, there it is. Sapphire Broadnax holding it down with your nephew Willie Moe Jr., my new little sister. She about to really do her thing. She about to influence culture with her story, and she about to change the world with her hands. I'm so thankful to hang out with such a great spirit. I honor and appreciate you, Sapphire. Thanks for hanging out with me.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Thank you, sis. Flat out.
Bye.
Yeah.